Hello, welcome back to another video. Manchester City have made yet another signing. We finally got an actual left back, and better than all that, he's a Manchester City fan as well, genuinely being confirmed via photos. City have signed a 21-year-old Spanish defender, Sergio Gomez from Anderlecht, and I'm a very happy boy. We got the squad depth that we wanted. Hello to everyone who's already here in the live chat. Welcome back to another video, of course. This is good news. This is really good news. This is sensible news. This is necessary news. We really did need a left back. You all saw the bench at the weekend. It was relatively threadbare, and we were only 1 or 2 injuries away from a genuine crisis. And this is a very interesting signing. Is this a superstar signing? No. But could it be a superstar signing when we look back at it? It absolutely could be. I really like these kind of transfers, genuinely. I like the ones with a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of difference, that aren't always the guaranteed superstar, because you got to work for it. And sometimes the things that you got to work for are the ones that you value the most. And this is why I'm looking forward to this. And that actual thing as well, once again, about him being a City fan, I'll get over to that in a minute and prove it, but that's just gold, man. Manchester City are absolutely massive, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Genuinely. Everyone thinks that we don't have fans around the world, but we've just signed another City fan, and another one, and another one, and they all keep coming in. And of course, this guy is a converted attacking midfielder and now a left back. It's just so Man City right now. It really, really is. So I'll jump through the details of this transfer. If you don't know much about Sergio Gomez, he's a young Barcelona Catalan graduate, La Masia graduate. He was there at Barcelona's youth setup before joining Borussia Dortmund in 2018. It didn't really go there, and he spent a couple of seasons in loan at Huesca over in Spain, getting the promotion to La Liga, but eventually joining Anderlecht. Of course, that coincided quite nicely with a certain Vincent Kompany joining Anderlecht, where he looked at this talented young footballer and went, "You're going to be a left back." And he's like, "But Vinny, I didn't say this, I'm paraphrasing, but Vinny, I'm an attacking midfielder." No, I'm sure he didn't say that. I'm sure, he was like, "All right, Vinny, you're the boss, whatever." Either way, he converted into one of the most exciting young left backs in European football, and he had a fine season last year for Anderlecht, becoming their player of the season, where he got something like 15 assists and 7 goals from left back, which is unbelievably good. Now, if you don't know too much about him, he was actually the second best player at the Under-17 World Cup, which Phil Foden, of course, and England famously won back in 2017. I was watching that final, and there's a good chance that you were too. And he scored like 4 goals in that tournament. I think he scored in the final 2. He was a superstar in the making, one of the jewels in the crowns of the Spanish youth setup as an attacking midfielder back then, generally as a number 10. And it's no coincidence that as a number 10, he was a fan of a certain David Silva. Now, apparently, he's a big David Silva fan, hence why he's taken the number 21 shirt. Of course, one of the most iconic shirts in Manchester City's history now, due to David Silva being the genius and the wonderful player that he is. So yeah, that's why he's taking that shirt, and that sort of kind of details his pathway to Manchester City eventual hopeful superstardom. Hello to everyone who's in the chat, and the wife there as well, who the wife texted me, Nicola, let me know that his signing had been done. I was too busy waffling away as always, which is classic me. Do hit the like button. It was massively appreciated. Thank you to Darcy as well, who's with the member, and who else is here? We got Mark, we've got loads of people. We got Cameron, we've got Anthony, Daniel, IMPJ, Swastik, Mean Girls, and Ewan Hughes. Is he any good, Ewan? Well, basically, that is a ballsy move. It is 21. We saw Ferran take it, and that didn't quite go to plan, but maybe this one will. Yeah, he's a fine talent. He is a young player that has to be improved, of course, but he is a fine talent. Technically, he's excellent, as you would expect. Spanish, La Masia graduate. He's going to use the ball really intelligently. I don't think he was ever meant to be our number 1 replacement, or option, as a left back. And we obviously wanted Cucurella, then we looked at other players. But as Guardiola said a few days ago, they looked at that option again. They watched the tapes again of him and went, "Do you know what? He's the right profile. The price is good. He's got ability. Let's go for it. He's got the right hunger." And sometimes these signings are the ones that actually kind of end up impressing you. Look at Zinchenko. No one thought when we signed a young Ukrainian lad from FC Ufa or whatever it was, they'd end up being a multiple Premier League winner and a huge part of Manchester City squad. But here we are, selling him to Arsenal years later, sadly. But either way, it shows you that some of the superstars sometimes can have very humble beginnings. And a 21-year-old left back from Anderlecht, look, this is the kind of signing that Brighton make a year ago and then sell a fullback for 60 million. These are the kind of signings that teams like Brighton make. And I've always wanted Manchester City to make a signing like this, as opposed to just making the 60 million signing. It pains me to say it, but Liverpool have had some success with that, of course, with people like Andy Robertson, and maybe this could be our kind of signing of that. Maybe he could improve his game massively and iron out those rough edges. Now, in terms of his actual weaknesses to his game, I did do a chat with Christophe Terreur on my channel. If you've not already watched it, go and open it in a new tab and go for it after this video. It's really, really good. Christophe is a Belgian league expert, and he filled me in the situation with Sergio Gomez over at Anderlecht, and yes, he very much was an attacking left back. He does have some slight flaws defensively. He is still learning that game. But as Guardiola said, players that can move backwards on the pitch and adapt can often be the best in their roles. Johan Cruyff was a big believer of that. In general, him coming backwards and moving back as a fullback, if he adapts that and learns how to defend, and I'm sure he will get better and better and better, because so much about defending and the art of that is about intelligence and knowing when to step and when forward and when to kind of intercept and so on. So I'm sure he'll get better. If he's already got that and he can already go forward and be absolutely immense attacking wise, then we are potentially sat on a little bit of a superstar. Now the best thing, of course, is he doesn't have to be brilliant. He doesn't have to be brilliant from the off. He literally is a backup for Manchester City. Cancelo has that shirt, of course. Nathan Ake can play the defensive role if we need more senior backup in a big game. But Sergio Gomez will come in every now and then off the bench. Of course, with 5 substitutions now, we are going to see games for Sergio Gomez. We're going to see him get plenty of minutes. And I think it's going to be really interesting when we're playing a low block. Manchester City always play teams you want to sit back and just put the feet up and do nothing but defend. We get that all the time. So how is it not going to benefit us having a guy with a wicked left foot and a bit of creativity who can play in a variety of roles? When we're pushing forward and we've got Kyle Walker inverting alongside Ake, Diaz, Laporte, whoever, or Stones or whatever, so we don't necessarily need a left back to be the full-on defender, well, Sergio Gomez could be really useful here. He will naturally provide a little bit of width and he will overlap on that left-hand side, allowing someone like, Jack Grealish or whatever to cut in a drive through the middle, and it allows us a bit of versatility. Like, I like this signing, man. I like it. I think it's a smart signing. I think it's an intelligent signing. And I really do think that he could settle into the squad. Once again, we know Guardiola's going to like him. He's Spanish. Obviously, there's exceptions. Angelino is the obvious alarm bell here. We saw a young attacking left-back come in who couldn't defend very well, and it ended up in relative tears. Angelino was moved on relatively quickly. I'm hoping this will be different, because people like Cheeky and people like Guardiola, they're intelligent enough to learn from their previous mistakes and their previous judgments. Surely they wouldn't make the same mistake twice and get a play that they didn't trust on the pitch. Surely they're going to play Sergio Gomez. They would build a team so his weaknesses are minimised and so on, and he would play to his strengths. Surely that would be the situation. Mark with the super chat. Mark getting in there early, saying, "Congrats, Sergio, on your league medal in advance." Love the way you think, Mark. Absolutely love it. And maybe you're right, man. Maybe you're right after Liverpool dropping points last night. 4-point gap already. I know it sounds crazy. There are 36 games left. What's that? That is 108 points, I think, if my math's correct. Is that right? Yeah, it is right. Yeah, that's an awful lot of points left to play for. So I don't think you can worry too much about that 4 points yet. But either way, it's a good start for us, isn't it? It really is. So we'll see. He does seem very, very hungry. He does. Let me just jump over to the quotes on mancity.com. So here we go. It says, City delighted to announce the signing of Sergio Gomez on a 4-year deal. Only a 4-year deal, which I think is relatively sensible for him. If I was him, I probably wouldn't be signing a 5-year deal just because of my backup. I'd want to see how things go. But either way, it says the 21-year-old Spanish defender joins from Anderlecht, with the left back having made 49 appearances for the Belgian club across the 21-22 campaign. He began his career as part of Barca's youth setup before leaving the Catalan club to join Bundesliga side Dortmund in 2018. Blah, 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 all that stuff we talked about before. And he said, "I'm incredibly proud and happy to join Man City. City are the best team in England." You're right, my friend. And Pep Guardiola, in Pep Guardiola, have the chance to learn and develop under the most outstanding manager in world football. To be able to be part of this club is a dream come true for me, and something any younger player would aspire to. The number of trophies City have won over the past few years has been incredible, and the style of football the team plays in the Pep is the most exciting in Europe. Playing for and being guided by Pep and his coaches is going to be very special. I've heard so much about the City fans and how passionate they are, so I can't wait to get started and try and help the club achieve even more. Cheeky said, "We're delighted to be able to welcome Sergio to Man City. Sergio. I've got that in my head already. It's going to be... He's got... Sergio, I'm sorry, mate, that's your song now. He's a very exciting young talent. Sergio's development in recent seasons has been very impressive. He's an accomplished defender with great potential. Over the past year, he's gained excellent experience playing in the Belgian League and in Europe with Anderlecht. We're sure that he'll bring additional quality to our squad, both in defence and going forward, and that he will only continue to develop and improve playing under Pep and his coaches. Yep, I'm delighted to see here. I mean, his pedigree, of course, is wonderful. You know, that trajectory in general, all the teams he's played for and the coaches and so on, it's really, really good, isn't it? You know, obviously under the tutelage of Kompany, as it says there, that must have helped. You know, that thumbs up from Vincent Kompany. Look, that stuff matters to Manchester City. Of course it does. You know, he is literally one of our legends. That matters. Vincent Kompany giving him the thumbs up, of course, before he moved to Burnley is lovely stuff. I mean, I'm not going to read all this. Go over to mancity.com if you want to read it all. I'm very excited for this. I think we're also presuming, by the way, that, you know, that he'll end up fully a left-back at Manchester City. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up a left-back for a bit, but eventually his old abilities as an attacking midfielder or a winger are brought up by Guardiola. Would anyone be surprised if Guardiola was like, I really like this guy, he's going to be attacking midfielder again, and next summer we'll sign a left-back? I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. This year's the left-back and Guardiola decides to do what Guardiola does and get him back to being an intelligent midfielder. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is why I'm happy that we signed him. We signed a versatile footballer who's just essentially a pure footballer. Someone who can control the ball. He knows how to get forward. He can defend a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised, basically, if Guardiola likes the fact that he's going to be very, very useful in many positions and becomes a very complete footballer. And eventually, maybe his role will change. But for now, of course, he is going to be that backup left back. But I like this signing. Give Guardiola good footballers. It's as simple as that. Give him an intelligent footballer and he will make use of them in intelligent ways. It's as simple as that. Best manager does things with intelligent footballers, and Sergio Gomez fits that motif down to a T. There's the picture of Cheeky there with him, of course. One of my favourite things of a new signing is always Cheeky there doing his little pose. He's on the wrong side there. I swear he is. I don't know. Either way, you do love to see it. Where are we at? Look at Sergio Gomez there with Ake and Alvarez around him. Lovely stuff. Who else? I'm scrolling through the photos, just showing you. 21, it's a big number. He's the most English-looking Spanish guy I've ever seen in my life. I swear, man. I swear it's ridiculous. There we go. I can't believe I missed all this stuff. Lovely stuff. Welcome to Manchester City, Sergio. I'll jump over here to see if there's any quotes. He said, I used to play as a striker. I like scoring goals, so I was happy with the decision to take penalties for Anderlecht. When it comes to taking a penalty, I can take them calmly. Yeah, he can. We've got another penalty taker, which is really nice, man. I've got a... 1 second. The doorbell's going. 1 sec. Sorry about that. We've got a decorator and he's gone and got it for me. Basically, yeah, he said, I've talked to Vincent Kompany, who when I knew about Manchester City's interest in signing me, he was very happy for me. He told me that this would be a huge step in my career and I was making the right decision by coming here. Absolutely, Vinny knows, man. Vinny knows. And if once again, going back to the penalties thing, we've gone from having none to another, which is very, very, very useful. 7 goals, 15 assists for Anderlecht last season. That's really impressive, isn't it? Of course it is. It's very good, man. And he's a City fan as well. There we go. Look at that. I tweeted yesterday about, you know, he said, there was a quote leaked yesterday from his video, how he was saying that he was a Manchester City fan and all this kind of stuff. And everyone was like, bullshit. That's absolute nonsense. But in this instance, it turns out it is true. There's a photo of him as a City kit. I need to find the quotes for that to prove it. But either way, he's a Manchester City fan, man. There we go. Well, the quotes. He says, can I find the quotes about him being a City fan? I can't find the quotes, but either way, he's a Manchester City fan, and that's lovely, lovely stuff. It's on the video, basically, but how crazy is that? We've got Haaland a City fan, Sergio Gomez a City fan, we've got Kompany, Phil Foden. They're all stacking up, and I absolutely love it. It's just, look, this is a good signing. No, Luke Kelly, he's staying with the first team, mate. He's staying with the first team. This is definitely not a loan signing. This is him around here permanently, and I really like this, man. I think it's a really smart and necessary bit of business, this. Like, look, I like signings like this, man. I like signings like this. Not every signing has to be a superstar. Some are just projects, and some bring a bit of hunger. Oh, here we go. Here's the quote. I've just found it right now. Apologies. There we go. He says, my brother used to support Man City. He's the reason I became a fan. Once he was on a school trip to London and asked him to bring a David Silva shirt back. He was wearing number 21 and my favourite player. I used to play in as a kid. So there we go. He was a City fan as a kid. That says it all. That says it all. I love stuff like this. I love seeing how much Manchester City have developed around the world. People can pretend that City are this little old club, but we're not anymore, you know. They actually are the club that people watch for. Imagine how many young kids around the world play as Manchester City every week on FIFA. We know it happens. Like, when City were terrible, like I played as City all the time when I was a kid on FIFA and Pro Evo. But I did play as good teams every now and then because I wanted to beat my mates. You know, of course I did, and I had my favourite teams and so on. So that's just how these things work. Like, and in this instance here, I can't imagine it's any difficult. Sergio Gomez, look, 10 years ago, he would have been watching David Silva and Sergio Aguero win the Premier League as a kid. That stuff literally, you know, that's formative for young players. He would have saw these brilliant footballers, and that would have been burned into his memory. Of course it is. Manchester City have been successful now for an awful long time at the highest level. Over a decade means a whole bunch of young players are growing up aware of Manchester City's dominance. And that, unfortunately, for some people, is going to change the perception of the club. Like, City are developing, and this is it. You know, it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see this. Another young City lad. Haaland, Gomez, Foden. These people are growing up and fulfilling lifelong dreams here. And that, to me, is very, very exciting because it does add a little bit of edge. It does add a little bit of hunger. It does add a little bit of determination. Like, these things matter. These things matter. And it used to be that people grew up wanting to play for Liverpool United. I'm sure they still do. But now they do grow up wanting to play for Manchester City. And that's crazy. Someone said to me on Twitter yesterday, look, you see behind-the-scenes videos of young lads playing in South America, you know, like, I don't know, Argentinian clubs, Brazilian clubs or whatever. And they're playing on FIFA. And they're playing as Manchester City. Look, of course they are. They want to play as Kevin De Bruyne. They want to play as Erling Haaland or Phil Foden or whatever, or Gundogan. This is what happens, and this is how it begins. Like, City are absolutely massive now, and I bloody love it. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. Manchester City have changed. And a lot of old City is now a worldwide phenomenon. Thank you for the Super Chat, Wolves fee. There's no quote with it, unfortunately, but thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate it. Darcy asking how tall he is. He's about 5'8", 5'7". He's a classic Man City small technical player, is what I'm getting at there. We've all seen it a billion times. But yeah, he's around that height. He's not the tallest, but he's not the smallest either. He's all right. He's fine. He's not that tall, but he's not that small either. He seems to have a decent physicality. I think Andy Robertson's probably about 5'8", isn't he? I think, is that right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but look, being a little bit short for a fullback isn't the world's worst thing as long as you've got the heart, the hunger and determination. Fweko said, I've just seen the interview with him on City Channel. He seems like a really nice lad. I'm sure he is. I've not watched the interview yet, and I won't watch it because I'll get a copyright strike. But he does seem like a nice lad from what I can gather of him. He looks like a friendly fella. He really does. Is Andy Robertson really 5'9"? I'm not sure. Like, that surprised me if so. He looks a little bit shorter than that. If he is, fair enough. He's 5'9", 5'11", someone said. I swear he's not that tall. He doesn't look 5'11" to me. I think he's about 5'9", something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, the point is, it doesn't really matter. He's not tiny, and I wouldn't say he's tall, but he's not tiny either. You know, Jordi Alba, there we go. He's a good example. I'm pretty certain he's not the tallest either. He's about 21 years old as well, Ben. I think he turns 22 in a couple of months. Alster, my man, says, let's go State. Indeed, man. Like, this is, look, I'm excited for this. Like, I really am. Like, once again, you don't always have to be a superstar to be a great player. And I like the idea. Look, if this signing succeeds, it's down to coaching once again. We've signed a young player, but we've got to make him a superstar because he isn't currently one. And that, to me, fits. Like, he's not going to be bothered about sitting on the bench, is he? He isn't, because he's young, he's going to improve, he's got quality, and he'll be fine. So this is very good. How's everyone feeling about this signing? I mean, the squad now feels a little bit better, doesn't it? I mean, the average bench, you know, like at the weekend, what was the bench at the weekend? Let me bring it up. But it was only very, very short. And all of a sudden, the bench with him on it, it feels a lot better. It just feels a little bit more fulfilled. Like the bench at the weekend, who did we have on it? We had Alvarez, senior player, Grealish, Stones, Stefan Ortega, and Bernardo. So 5 senior players, and then we had young players as well in Delap, Mbete, Rico Lewis, and Wilson Esbrand. It is a short bench. With Sergio Gomez on there, you can come on and play right wing, left wing, probably even play as a midfielder or left back or whatever. This to me is really useful. As Darcy just said in the comments as well, multiple positions is more chance to play. Like I think that's absolutely spot on. I think it's really, really useful, and I think Guardiola approves that. Alpha is right, mate. People grow up supporting City these days. It's crazy, but it's true, and the photos prove it. GL75 with a super chat. You're right. Sam says was skeptical when Gomez said he was a City fan. Then the photo came up. Mad that 2 kids in Catalonia chose City over Barca is mad. This club is massive. What I think it probably is, Sam, is like there probably are Barcelona fans, but we're in the modern internet era. So many people have 2 clubs, or they have the team that they support, or they have a soft spot for another team in another country, because the Premier League is so omnipresent and so global that you can't really escape it these days. Like most young players do follow the Premier League, and I reckon there's a good chance that he was like a follower of City as opposed to a Man City fan. They were his Premier League team because he was a David Silva fan or something like that. Or maybe his brother Jenny was just a Manchester City fan because the City were the best and he wanted to support City. Some people just choose to support a team because they're the best. It sounds crazy, but people do that, you know? So I think it's just the way the world goes, because it used to be that you support only your local team, but that's what I've done, of course, but I'm not going to tell anyone how to support football. It's not for me, that choice, but it is what it is. Like Mark in the comments says he supports Bohemians and Man City. Like, there you go. Like, the football's changed. The world is smaller. It's online. The internet and TV and so on means you can support anyone from wherever. So the David Silva pull, as you said, it is crazy, and people support City for many reasons, and I think he's probably a follower of Man City as opposed to a dyed-in-the-wool blue. I'm pretty certain, he wasn't buying shirts every year, but he was a City fan, and he was wearing the kit from when we won the league. And to me, that is relatively telling. Imagine how many young players are growing up now after watching that Aguero moment, and how many that it influenced. Like, the amount of kids who would have been on the park that weekend doing the Sergio celebration and stuff. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, obviously, there you go, man. Like, I mean, I can't stand Rangers personally, just because they smashed up our City. Sorry, Rangers. You shouldn't have smashed up our City. But in general, I get it. I get why people have soft spots for other teams. When I was a kid, my mum sent me photos of me as a kid on holiday, and I was wearing a Juve shirt because simply it was there when we went abroad. And I used to watch Football Italia. I was a City fan. I didn't support Juve, but when I was watching Football Italia, I fell in love with Roberto Baggio, the divine ponytail, like a phenomenal player. A phenomenal player, Baggio, and like, because I liked him so much, I used to watch Juventus every weekend, and they had Ravanelli and they had Vialli, but Football Italia would show those games, and I just enjoyed watching Juve play. As I grew up, I didn't give a shit about him anymore, but as I was like 10, 11 years old, yeah, I definitely had a little bit of a soft spot for him, but then I grew out of it as I got older, and I just follow City. But I can see why teams end up, how people end up following other teams. I can see why it happens. Because football, you watch it on TV and you like a team because you like how they play. So, to me, this is very exciting. This is exciting news, and it's interesting news. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had Madrid shirts, just how it is. I had a Real Madrid shirt as a kid because I got one when I was on holiday. I was about 11 years old, and I wore it in training because, like, kids, I go to the park right now, me and Nicola walking around the park, and we see kids in Barca shirts, Real Madrid shirts. Like, shirts from all around the world because that's just what kids are like. They like a player at a certain team. And you know how it is. It's just how it is these days. So, Sergio Gomez, apparently someone said he's retweeted a tweet about him playing for Man City from 2012 or something like that. Let me have a look. Is it actually on his Twitter? There we go. Look at this. I'm going to jump over to here now. Look at this. Sergio Gomez tweeted, is Ruben Gomez, his brother, tweeted about as a City fan. That's his brother there. Look at that. There's Sergio. I love that man. Another City fan. Absolute. It's just crazy. It's crazy. They're everywhere. Look at that picture. That's him and his brother Ruben as a City fan. Absolutely massive, and that's how things change. That's how football changes. We've got another one through the door. We're going to have players. He's going to kiss the badge one day when he scores, and he's going to mean it, He's going to mean it. And Yeah, someone just said in the comments, Bierbeck says, I started supporting City because of Carlos Tevez. As a young Argentinian, football for me was everything about then. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, language of football, saying Gomez is a bird. I love it, man. But there you go. That's his brother. I need to retweet that right now. There we go. I've just done that. You're all right now. And it's great news. So there we go. Was that in Manchester? Someone said, look at the sky. Yeah, of course it was. Twitter for BlackBerry as well. That takes you back, doesn't it? Look at that. Back in 2012. Lovely stuff. That is definitely Manchester. You can tell, look at the sky, look at the woodwork. I don't know where that is, but that is definitely, or is it London or something like that? Who knows? Either way. City fan, proven, and absolutely love it. So I'm very happy about this. I mean, I'll go up on lineup builder now and we'll work out where he could play and what it could mean. In terms of his actual position at Manchester City and so on. But to me, like, this is a very smart signing. It's necessary, of course it is, but it's smart. It's not the ideal signing, but it could be very, very useful. So I'll go over here now and we'll try and build, like, when we've got the ball, this is how I think it will unfold if he's on the pitch. Like, let's presume, he's on the pitch, and, Cancelo's not there for whatever reason. So I'll put Gomez here at left back. I'll put, Laporte and Diaz in, and then Walker, then Rodri. I'm gonna be bold and say Bernardo's staying, so he's going there, Bernardo. De Bruyne. I'm gonna put Grealish in for a reason. Grealish is going on the left over here because I'm gonna move it around. Then I'm gonna put Foden on this side. Actually, sorry, Mahrez fans. Nothing personal. So imagine we got the ball. This is how I think we'll end up lining up. Haaland will be there, obviously. Foden will be up here. KDB will be shifting around here. And I think Gomez will be pushing up forward like this. And we'll have Bernardo a little bit deeper there. Rodri around about here. Laporte will spread wide. And it'll be like this. This is how we'll play when we got the ball. And to me, that allows Grealish, essentially, to cut inside and kind of do what he does. Bernardo will come up and link with any of these when he needs to. With Rodri there, absolutely fine to cover. Laporte will go over to this side with his left foot. This really makes sense for me. Absolutely. It's really strong. So when we got him, he'll be able to whip balls in over to there to Haaland. And that really, really makes sense. Like, not defensively, we'll have Laporte over this side, or Ake or whatever. You'll have a left footer over this side for the balance. This will be Stones or Diaz in the centre here, of course. And then Walker will be covering this side entirely. Like, for me, this makes an awful lot of sense, doesn't it? Of course, if this was Gundogan, Gundogan would be playing around. I think if it was Gundo, by the way, and if he was on the pitch, he'd be doing this. He'd be right up here alongside Haaland with Grealish like dictating around here. It's really, really, really useful. Unfortunately for Wilson Esbrand, Deshaun. Yeah, Wilson Esbrand, look, I think people are getting carried away. I did say in pre-season, Guardiola's not going to lean on Joshua Wilson Esbrand. I know people didn't want to hear it. Yeah, well, I know Cancelo will start, Lib. I'm just saying if he's on the pitch. Obviously, Cancelo's going to start. Obviously. But I'm saying when he's on the pitch, it allows something a little bit different. And that's the point I'm making here, really. Obviously, I can't just take Cancelo off and he's not gonna drop him, of course, but it'll be something like this, and I'm fine with this. It makes perfect sense for me. Legand, thank you so much, Legand. Big love for being a member again. It's really, really appreciated. But yeah, that's good. Apparently, Bernardo's moved into a new house. That's interesting. That's an interesting bit of news, Bernardo. That's over in the aggregators as well. Like, that's very interesting. Bernardo Silva, I think he's gonna stay. I really do. I think he's gonna stay personally. I just think they won't come in with enough money and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be now necessity. I think he'll hang around, but that suits me down to a T. But either way, back to Gomez. Look, this is a smart signing. To conclude, this is an intelligent signing. It's a versatile signing. It's a risk-free one, relatively cheap, 10 to 15 million, something like that, on a 4-year deal. A guy who actually loves the club. That massively helps. Massively helps as well that obviously he's a City fan, has been proven by the photos now. Look, this is all absolutely lovely stuff for me. I love that edge to it, by the way. Look, I was really excited for this signing because it's different anyway. But the fact that he's a City fan too, I love it, man. It's great. Adds a little bit of spice to it and a little bit of fun to it that I was not expecting to see today. Like, another Man City fan on the pitch. Look, this is great. So to me, big thumbs up for this signing. Look, I didn't really probably want a superstar left-back signing anyway. I like getting young, hungry players in as backups. And I think, to me, this suits that down to an absolute T. Mark with a super chat saying, Stephen, what is the general thoughts of local City fans on the new international fan base? I've been a fan 24 years now, but I get called plastic. I don't speak for all City fans, Mark. Look, some local City fans are knobheads, and some local City fans are nice. Some international fans are knobheads, and some international fans are nice. So like, well, I guess the point I'm making here is that fans are all very different. I'm a local fan, and look, I'm going to put this very simply. I could not give a flying fuck, in the nicest possible sense, what you do with your life. And I mean that in the most sweetest, honest way possible. If you want to support Man City, good for you, man. You do that. I don't care. I am not going to sit here and tell someone how to support a billionaire football club because it's nothing to do with me. It's literally nothing to do with me. And I accept that, as Manchester City get bigger and bigger, more people are drawn to the brilliant football that we play. That, you know what, that thing that was little old City, it isn't just my club anymore. It's a global thing. But look, if those young fans or fans of any age abroad can experience the joy that Manchester City brought me over the years, then I'd be very selfish to share that. And that's how I feel. So yeah, absolutely, man. Like, look, you enjoy it. Some local fans will gatekeep, and they only gatekeep because they are, I don't know, a sense of entitlement. But I don't get it. I get it when people get frustrated by people who turn up for one game, get the picture and go away and stuff like that. I get the frustration, but ultimately, football is the most popular sport in the world. And like, when you've got the most popular sport in the world and the most popular league in the world, expect people to be interested in it for a day trip and so on. It's like living in the Lake District and going, why are people coming here? Why did you move to the Lake District? Because it's beautiful. It's as simple as that. Like, I guess essentially what I'm getting at is like, people like to moan. People will always moan. And what I would say is ignore them, mate. Look, if you support City and you enjoy supporting City and it makes your life, it fulfills you and you enjoy chatting to Blues from around the world, who cares what other people think? And I think that's the best way to live life in general. So there'll be some are fine. Ultimately, I don't care. And there'll be some who try and tell you that you're doing the wrong thing. And just ignore them, mate. Absolutely ignore them because it's life and people will always find a reason to moan. Welcome to the club, man. Like, what I will say is the only fans that annoy me are the ones that who act entitled. Like, if you just started following Man City in the last 2 weeks and then you start having to go at like older fans, then that's annoying. People who moan at fans, who call for perspective and so on. Essentially, it's all down to how you act as an individual. It's really that simple. It's funny, isn't it? Isn't it funny how context rules everything in life? New fans who admit the new fans and don't tell other fans how to behave, fine. They're welcome. New fans who come on and then preach and pretend to be something that they're not and tell others how to act, that they're knobheads because they're acting like knobheads. And that sounds crazy, but it really is as simple as that, basically. It's all Twitter nonsense and it's all point scoring, and we all know Glory fans and all fans from around the world have existed forever and will until the end of time. It's like me as a Mancunian moaning about the rain. It's never going to change, so I'm not going to bother moaning about it. But guys, that is my views on fans, of course, and Sergio Gomez. To me, this is an exciting sign and a necessary one. I do think this is going to probably turn out better than we hope it will be, but then I am an eternal optimist. But I do think there's a little bit of soul to this transfer, which I'm quite excited to see. The Vincent Kompany connection, of course, the fact that he's a young Spanish lad who's got versatility. I feel like there's a story here for him potentially that we haven't seen unfold yet. It could be that that he develops, a real love for this club that he's already got, allegedly. Seemingly, well, not allegedly, it's literally there, actually, literally. We see that develop, and maybe his career develops in interesting ways in the way that Zinchenko did, and we see him evolve as a footballer on the pitch, offer us something a little bit different. I like it, man. It's a fun signing, and as William just said, ultimately we've signed a left back. Hell must be freezing over right now. You're not wrong, William. You're not wrong. But no, just to keep hell a little bit hotter. It's not quite a left back. It's a left back, but a Man City left back, a guy who's a converted midfielder, so he's still very Man City at the same time. Had to be a little bit Man City, didn't it? Guys, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to give the video a like. Let's get up to 500,000 likes for Sergio, and hit the subscribe button while you're at it. I only need 15 more to get to 63,500 subscribers, which would be lovely. So subscribe, because if you don't, you're a muppet. As simple as that, really. I don't make the rules. They are the rules. And I'll catch you later for another video. Go watch the video I did. I'm going to jump over to my channel and show you it. Where is it? 1 second. There's a video there at the top. Where is it? Here we go. If we jump over here. this one down here. See that one there on the Sergio Gomez, all you need to know. If you haven't already watched that, go and watch it. That's a really interesting video from a Belgian journalist telling me loads of very interesting stuff. Open the tab right now. I'm going to do it. You won't regret it, I promise you. It's a really fascinating video. So I'll catch you all very, very soon. We've got another player. We signed another player. The transfer window is probably done for Manchester City Football Club now. I do think City will resist Bernardo going. I don't think he'll go. I don't think we'll sign anyone else. And ultimately, the squad's pretty good. It's decent. Actually, should we quickly, do you know what? Before I go, let's quickly build the squad. Back over here again. It looks like this, doesn't it now? I'm going to quickly build it. Cancelo, stroke Gomez. I reckon this looks like this now. 1 second, I'm just building it over here. Rodri, stroke Phillips. Sorry, if you give me a second or two. The squad looks actually quite good when I'm writing it out now. Do you know what? I'll jump over here to you guys so you can see it at the same time. I don't know why I didn't do that. There we go. So right now at the same time, this is a good squad. You know, it's got a young player there, of course, as well. But, you know, there's still plenty of quality there, as we know. Gundo and Bernardo. So there we go. There's the squad. It's basically like that. I'll put Silver there because it doesn't fit. We are a little bit short in places here, but it's not that bad, you know. People act like we've got no players. I think getting Gomez in is really useful. So, to me, that is a pretty decent squad. You know, there's balance there. I don't know why De Bruyne isn't a banana. Ignore that nonsense. So, Mahrez and Palmer, Grealish and Foden, Haaland, Alvarez, Gundogan, Silva, De Bruyne, Rodri, Phillips. Ortega as well, yeah, of course. Apologies to Ortega. Hossam, you're absolutely right, mate. I forgot about that. And obviously Carson. I'll put him in. Why not? I can't be arsed. He won't fit on. So that to me, there's balance there. Obviously, they're very young senior left backs, and of course, you can have Wilson Esbrand as well. You know, and Bete there, of course. Maybe Oscar Bob will get a chance. Maybe he will do. Maybe we'll see some young academy wingers like Diamond Bude or Carlos Borges get through, or something like that. I don't know, but either way, that's a pretty good squad in my personal opinion. It's not the world's busiest squad, but there's enough quality there, and I think we'll see a lot of football for all these players. At some point, one of these midfielders is going to be out, you know, one of these guys, and I think we'll see Phillips play midfield a bit. So I suspect if we have number 8 injuries, I think we'll see Calvin Phillips play alongside Rodri. We're both given a little bit of essentially a role to get further forward if they need to a little bit. So that's what I think we'll see. But guys, thank you very much for watching. You're all awesome. I'll catch you all in a bit and go watch that video. Bye-bye.